So Kuyan, today I'm gonna try to teach you the Mando'a alphabet. Mando'a is mostly a spoken language in the in-universe canon, with written being more of an afterthought. And this is kind of flipped in real life, with most Mando'a being text on the internet. And because of Mando'a's sloppy writing system, since it's supposed to be spoken, there are a lot of problems that we can run into when we're working in the alphabet, which is why a lot of the time I just use the Latin alphabet. Now, first off, there are a few things to note. There's the canon version of the alphabet in that's from the movie Attack of the Clones, but there's also fonts that you can download online. There are a few differences, like a few letters are different, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same. But you can't get the exact thing because I think that's technically copyright infringement. Anyway, very small difference. And there's also some disagreement on if we should use that or if we should come up with our own, since if we came up with our own, there wouldn't be any problems with infringement. So basically, the alphabet is one to one with Latin alphabet that's used in English and other languages as well. Some people, including me, think that it should have its own alphabet, obviously with the same style, but it's not a clone of the Latin alphabet. Others think that we should stick to the canon alphabet, and which I understand that completely, which is why first I'm teaching the canon alphabet, or most of it anyway. So, from the pronunciation video, which I messed up, sorry, Mando'a doesn't have the letter X, Z, Q, or F. And this is reflected, obviously, by them not showing up in writing. However, the alphabet still has symbols for those letters for transliteration purposes, is what it says, but really it's just because it's a clone. Anyway, first off, I'm going to show you the letters that exist in the canon, or the sort of canon fonts that you can download online, and that's used most widely throughout the internet. So A, B, C, D, E, G, no F, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, no Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, no X, Y, no Z. And that's obvious. Well, I told you that's every letter that's in the alphabet, but I told you no if they were not used in writing. Mando'a, at least. So that's every letter, but that's not every sound. There's CH, there's SH, there's CY and YC, and there's VH. Now, these don't have their own symbols. Like in English, they're two letters that are next to each other that make a new sound. But, I think that they should be single syllables, which is what some fan versions of the alphabet have done. And also, a lot of other languages in real life, they have these symbols as one symbol. The only reason they're two symbols in Mando'a is, again, I'm going to say the word clone, not just because it is a clone, but also because, Star Wars. Now, if you're typing, you can't really do much other than stick to the fonts that are basically canon. But in handwriting and art, you can obviously be more creative. I've seen fan versions online, which have been very interesting. Some I felt strayed too far from the spirit of the alphabet. In my own versions, I've made a few, some that stick very close to canon, but with things I said like ch, vh being one symbol and things like that. And I also have things that are very different, that are either written a different way or written with like a totally different tool, or because they if you've seen the letters, they obviously seem like they're more carved or used with like a chisel pen tip or something rather than a pencil, because they're not just points, they have flat and like rectangular lines. But anyway, I don't use those ones publicly. I've shown them to in other places, but I don't use them publicly because they wouldn't really be able to read it. So I usually stick to the one, if I'm handwriting and I want to show it to someone else, then I'll use my handwritten version that looks and basically is the canon version, but just handwritten. And if you want to make the actual canon from the movie, if you handwrite it, it's not infringement. But if you make a font, that would be infringement. But that's not the point. I've seen other people upload their styles on the forum and on Discord, which I again suggest you check out both of those sources, forum.mando'a.org and the Oyubot Discord, which you might be able to find on the forum. If you can't find it, just message me. Well, anyway, I'm gonna make a new video where I voice over some lines in The Mandalorian with the help of Nervode, who are actually not Mando'a speakers, so I'm coaching them a little bit to try to get the best lines. And so wait for that video. It should be out, hopefully, next week.